Now that Hillary Clinton has finally admitted she's a sick old woman about to be mercifully carried off by pneumonia, many of you may have begun to ask yourself what will happen if the Democrat candidate for corrupt president becomes too ill to continue her campaign. How will she be replaced if she steps down? And what if she dies? Will she really have to go to hell for all eternity? Or is there some chance a fire hotter than 1,000 suns will purge her desiccated soul of the blackness of her innumerable sins? Actually, I can't answer that last question, but I can explain the Democratic National Committee's bylaws for how she can be replaced. Now, first of all, let me reassure those of you who don't wish Hillary dead, and feel free to move in closer so you can hear me better, that there is no evidence that Hillary is gravely ill. As Jennifer Granholm, a pertly attractive blonde woman who used to be governor of somewhere or other, as she said, powering through illness is just what women do. And of course, all men already know that because we're the ones who have to listen to all the complaining before going out to earn enough money to support the women while they're powering through, or whatever the hell it is they do all day. But in the event Hillary should finally admit that, let's face it, she's heading off to that big Benghazi hearing in the sky, the DNC's charter and bylaws make it very clear what procedures must be followed. According to DNC bylaw 78.42, section 53, quote, should the essential corruption of a Democrat candidate begin to manifest itself in material form, such that a physical cancer begins to mirror the spiritual cancer that has infested every corner of her being, a series of meaningless meetings shall be convened while Barack Obama asks Valerie Jarrett what should happen next. When Jarrett decides who should be the replacement candidate, all committee members shall record their vote on a 3x5 index card, which they shall then fold into a paper airplane to be thrown across the committee room, whereupon whoever's plane flies furthest shall win a free trip on the Lolita Express, if male or if female and under 15. After the vote is taken, Valerie Jarrett's candidate shall be added to the ballots in all 57 states. In those states where the law forbids the addition of a candidate at this late date, the Secretary of State in charge of enforcing that law shall mysteriously disappear in a van marked George Soros Dry Cleaning Service, irritating wrinkles removed. The local law shall then be deemed to have the same effect on the Democratic Party as the United States Constitution, namely none, and the candidate shall be declared president for life, unquote. Hillary Clinton has denied these measures will be needed, telling reporters, quote, I am not leaving the race. If dead men can vote for Democrats, then why shouldn't dead men vote for dead Democrats? Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm late for my embalming, unquote. Trigger warning, I'm Andrew Klavan, and this is The Andrew Klavan Show. All right, John, you got through that without laughing. You know, people blame me for laughing, but I just want to take full responsibility for the fact it's Jay Hayes' fault. It's like, he cracks up and then I crack up. That's the way that works. All right, a lot of stuff to talk about. More fallout from all this health stuff and some cultural observations after a really interesting evening of football last night where Colin Kaepernick carried out his threat not to stand during the national anthem, which I know he'd done in preseason, but now it's the real season. First of all, you can watch this. If you are a subscriber, you can now watch this entire thing on the Daily Wire from beginning to end. So that's what you get for your lousy $8. We've parsed that out now. It's $1.37 for me, and then I think the rest goes to Shapiro. But it's totally fair, believe me. So you can watch the whole thing. If you're not a subscriber and you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, after 15 minutes, you'll go blind. It's just what happens. It's not actually the picture cutting out. It's you. You've lost your vision. And you can only hear us on the Daily Wire or on iTunes or SoundCloud. And if you subscribe, you get to be in the mailbag, which is tomorrow. So please get your questions in for the mailbag. Yes, woohoo. Please get your questions in for the mailbag tomorrow. Ask whatever you want about politics or the culture or anything else that's on your mind. And also, if you have something that is stuff you like that I'd like to hear about, I would like to hear about it. So include that with your question. This is also the last week to pre-order The Great Good Thing, A Secular Jew Comes to Faith in Christ, my memoir of conversion. If you pre-order it, which you can only do till Friday, I think, then you can send me the receipt at aclavan@dailywire.com, and I will sign a sticker to put in the book. All right, all this fallout over Hillary Clinton collapsing, and now they say she has pneumonia. who knows what it is, since they lie all the time. You can't tell. You can't tell what they say. You don't even want to doubt her. People have been writing to me all day yesterday. People were writing to me and saying, "What do you think she has?" Like, how the hell should I know? Do I look like a doctor? I mean, not only that, if I were a doctor, what I'd be saying is like, I don't know. She's not my patient. It's like, who knows? I mean, it could be pneumonia, could be emphysema that has now become pneumonia. It could be like all kinds of different things. Anyway, it's obviously got them agitated. A former Democrat National Committee chairman says President Barack Obama and the party's congressional leaders should immediately come up with a process to identify a potential successor candidate. So that's Don Fowler, who helmed the DNC from 95 to 97. He's saying that. Ohio Governor Ted Strickland came out and said that Tim Kaine is a wonderfully prepared person to be vice president and to be president if that ever became necessary. Not that it would ever be unnecessary. But the guy who, of course, made the biggest gaffe was our friend Bill Clinton. Somewhere deep down, I think Bill has a little bit of hostility to the idea of his wife becoming, you want the wife to stay home, make you a sandwich, stay home. You don't want her running off and becoming president. Even if she is already sleeping with another woman, you still feel that she, there's a little hostility to that. So he goes on television, and this is almost what he says on CBS. Not quite, but almost.
She's been, well, if it is, it's a mystery to me and all of her doctors. Rarely, but on more than one occasion over the last many, many years, the same sort of things happened to her when she just got severely dehydrated.
So what he really said was rarely, and they just cut out the because they wanted, the media, they want to help us understand. They don't want us to make any mistakes, to think that she's just constantly keeling over and falling down. So Hillary, remember the first scene of The Walking Dead, the first episode of The Walking Dead, where that half-eaten zombie claws her way through the grass. So Hillary they got to the phone and called Anderson Cooper at CNN and defended herself from her husband.
I'm feeling so much better, and obviously I should have gotten some rest sooner. I probably would have been better off if I'd just pulled down my schedule on Friday. But like a lot of people, I just thought I could keep going forward and power through it, and obviously that didn't work out so well.
Let me ask you, your husband said tonight in an interview with Charlie Rose, he said, quote, "Rarely on more than one occasion over the last many, many years, the same sort of things happened to her," meaning you, when she got severely dehydrated. Can you say how many times over the course of the last, say, 5 years you've been dehydrated and gotten dizzy? I know you passed out, hit your head back in 2012, which led to the concussion. How often has this happened?
Oh, I think really only twice that I can recall. It is something that has occurred a few times over the course of my life, and I'm aware of it and usually can avoid it. What happened yesterday was that I just was incredibly committed to being at the memorial as a senator on 9/11. This is incredibly personal to me. And I could, feel how hot and humid it was. I felt overheated. I decided that I did need to leave. And as soon as I got into the air-conditioned van, I cooled off, I got some water, and very quickly I felt better.
So she can't remember how many times she's fainted because she keeps falling over and hitting her head. After a while, you just get this once, twice, a few times. I don't know. If I didn't keep banging my head, I would remember, but I keep banging my head and I don't remember. The key phrase she uses in there is power through. Now, I don't want to say that when I say the news media edits out things so that we don't, make mistakes, I don't want to say that they share the talking points of the Democratic Party, that they're all one group of people. But the Free Beacon has put together this montage, and this is all from yesterday, of people. See, power through has this kind of feminist overtone, because women like to think of themselves as powering through. Their victims. We're terribly oppressing them, but they're sick. They have to take care of the kids, but they power through. They love that image of themselves. This is a big sell, especially Democrat women who are all such terrible victims of the oppression of being female in the United States of America. So they're all selling this. This is wonderful. The Free Beacon, this is all from yesterday, spliced them all together.
She made a determination with her doctor that she would power through this. She made a decision to just power through this. We've decided to power through sometimes, just power through this. Continue to power through. Yes, she tried to power through it. She decided to power through it.
Well, you know, Brooke, she just wanted to power through. She just wanted to power through her schedule. So she wanted to just power through and keep doing it.
I appreciate all of her desire to power through.
To power through and get things done. She tried to power through it.
It was Hillary Clinton's decision, essentially, to power through.
The candidate who famously wants to power through these things. She's going to try and power through.
We say when you get a cold, just power through. Power through.
They thought she could power through. They thought she could power through it. They thought that she could power through it.
Wants to power through things. That too, the powering through.
Governor Jennifer Granholm said women just power through these things, and I get it. I try to power through all my illnesses.
Hillary Clinton had a very busy day on Friday, and she powered through that day.
Yet she powered through. Powering through illness is what women do every day.
She continued powering through.
I think about mothers powering through.
I mean, she powered through that week. I'm going to power through. That was her way.
So let me see if I've got this right. She was powering through, but she wasn't just an old woman falling on her face because she was too sick to walk. She was powering through just like Mother used to do. Okay, so I love this. But even on the left, there are people who are saying, you know, it's not just the cover-up. I mean, it's not just that the cover-up is worse than the crime. It's that the cover-up is part of an endless series of cover-ups. So Maureen Dowd, total leftist, total left-winger. However, Maureen Dowd, I have to give her credit where credit is due. I don't like her. I don't know her personally. I don't like her writing. I think she just calls people stupid names, and it's supposed to be funny. I think she's been incredibly unfair to the right. You know, just not even logically attacking them, just kind of making fun of them for no reason at all. But she has always been incredibly honest about the Clintons, and it has cost her. And so I admire her integrity on that. When Bill Clinton was cheating and abusing women, and the feminists were going like, oh, you know, that's fine. It's wonderful when he does it. Maureen Dowd stood up for her beliefs and her opinions and took them on. And she took a lot of flack for it. So Megyn Kelly had her on last night, and this was her take on the whole thing.
They want us to give them the benefit of the doubt now, that it really is pneumonia, that they knew that since Friday, that half the team has pneumonia. Have they earned it? Have they earned the benefit of the doubt, the Clintons?
No, and, you know, I agree with David Axelrod, who said it isn't about the health, it's about the stealth. The health issue this week is a perfect microcosm of why she has problems. And, you know, I started covering her in '92 when she first came on the scene, just as I did Trump in '99. And that's why I thought, you know, I could give some context to this. And this is the exact same pattern she follows every time, where Trump has his wall and she has her wall of defensiveness and secretiveness and just pushing back. The press can't know anything. And each time it gets worse because that spirals into a snowball. And the press and her foes get into a frenzy. And then the whole thing is so much worse when it starts out as relatively mundane.
So that's pretty much, I mean, there's a lot of people saying that, not just Axelrod and Dowd. You know, they're just saying, like, look, you know, this is what she does all the time with everything. So how can you believe anything she says? And why should anybody trust her? And the funny thing, the really amazing thing is not that Hillary Clinton is acting like Hillary Clinton. It's that Donald Trump isn't acting like Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been incredible. I mean, I keep waiting for the big, because when the shoe drops with Trump, it drops right into his mouth, you know. This time, he's not doing it. He is holding fire on this. He's been very good about her health.
Well, I don't take satisfaction, Joe, and frankly, you know, I hope she gets well, and I hope she gets well soon. But you know, it was quite sad, to be honest with you, and I hope she gets well soon. No satisfaction, believe me, whatsoever. It was interesting because they say pneumonia on Friday, but she was coughing very, very badly a week ago, and even before that, if you remember. This wasn't the first time. So it's very interesting to see what is going on. I want her to get better. I want her to get out there. I look forward to seeing her in the debate. I will say this, the scheduling, you know, if you look at my scheduling and compare it to anybody else's scheduling, it is not a contest. So, you know, I found the whole challenge to be very invigorating because, it's about make America great again. That's what we're doing. We're going to make America great again. There's so many things that can happen.
So he just slipped the stiletto in there, but you don't think of Trump that way as like the fine Italian hand, coming up and just slipping the stiletto. He basically said I'm in great health. I'm running around everywhere. I can't. My schedule would kill a lesser man, But he's getting his digs in, but he's not saying the dumb thing, and that is very impressive. Meanwhile, he is also, to the New York Times' dismay, they ran a hilarious headline this morning. To the New York Times' dismay, he's now going around and cramming this deplorable statement where she said half of Trump supporters are in a basket of deplorables. He is cramming this down her throat, and he's doing it while she's off the campaign trail because she's so sick she can't move. So the New York Times says, Trump moves to take advantage of her disappear, like he's supposed to stand down and let everything pass. But instead, he goes out and he really gave it to her on the deplorable thing. Nope.
Of our country. I was thus deeply shocked and alarmed this Friday to hear my opponent attack, slander, smear, demean these wonderful, amazing people who are supporting our campaign by the minutes. Our support comes from every part of America and every walk of life. We have the support of cops and soldiers, carpenters and welders, the young and the old, and millions of working-class families who just want a better future and a good job. These were the people Hillary Clinton so viciously demonized. These were among the countless Americans that Hillary Clinton called deplorable, irredeemable, and un-American.
Okay, we're going to have a really interesting conversation about the culture, but we have to leave you on YouTube and Facebook, so come on over to the Daily Wire and hear the rest.